Hi and welcome. Today we're going to make this fun Home Sweet Home mason jar. And when you review the tutorial and the cut file, you'll see that the mason jar actually is the same color as the background because I wanted it to appear that it was see-through. And you'll put together the leaves in the jar and then the outline of the jar, and then the flowers go on top. So even though they're cut at the same time with the greens, I want you to put them together so that they're separate. And I used dot dots to make the whole image raised. I also always recommend, if you have, this is like a Amazon 12 by 12 board, you can put a pretty ribbon in and then attach this. And you could hang it on your door or your screen or certainly in your kitchen, just as a fabulous reminder that your home is certainly the sweetest place to be. So stay with me and let's make it together. Welcome. Today we're making this Home Sweet Home mason jar. I really love everything mason jars, so I wanted to create art that kind of represented that. And you'll notice that I've cut all of the pieces. And I want you to see that I cut the flowers as a separate layer. The leaves are individual. And remember, everything has a fit, so you'll know where everything goes. It's really the first thing I'm going to put down, as I made a base of the same color as the background. You'll also notice that with the wording, there's my O's, center's O's. So I'm gonna pop dot this so that everything is dimensional, but I thought it would be easier to cut the letters out of the green instead of trying to place the green. So I hope you'll agree with me that that was much easier. So the first thing I'm going to put down is my lettering, and then I'll add the mason jar. And the cool thing about the mason jar is that this set of leaves, again, everything matches, goes under the white. So you'll put the green to the very top of the jar, and then you'll add the white so that the leaves appear to be inside the jar, which is what the concept is. So let's start and make it together. I'm going to put these leaves down first. And I have a zig glue stick. I have dot dots, which are clear. And I also use a sticky tape that I can roll on. I'll probably use all three in today's demonstration. But let's put these leaves on, and here's where you can see, actually this is the top. Oh, no, it goes the, looks like a fishtail to the left. So it really goes on here. This little vine, this vine and this vine are the same. So we're gonna just start right there. And I'm only putting the glue on that first part so that I can get everything else in position. So we can see this one goes here. And this goes right here. I am going to use it's actually a clay pointer right? At least I use it for clay. I also actually use it to clear the acrylic off my plastic palette, which is pretty funny. So I'm gonna just put a little glue on these little vines. And then this leaf here. And you'll notice you don't have to glue everything specifically down. You could always go back in and glue something down that might be sticking up weird. So I'm really gonna just position this in the center, and I'm gonna still use this pen, because here's where I want the vines on the bottom to be attached to the jar so it doesn't interfere with the outside edge of the jar, kind of showing the reflection. So I'm just going to put that right to the top. Again, I'm going to use this side to just not get glue over my fingers, but to press these stems down. And now you can see that this goes right in here. Now we say check. Make sure you're gluing on the right side. Yes, there's been many a moment where I put the glue on the wrong side, as I'm sure you makers out there have done in the past. I'm kind of covering pretty much most of the shapes here with the glue pen, just so everything lies flat. Stick this right on here. Again, I'm lining up the edges. Tap it down. Gonna make sure it's really sucked down, or add more glue. Fun. So when I'm ready with the flowers, I'll put this in Pop Dot so that it's raised. And I don't know if you remember from previous videos, or if you've ever seen my videos before, once I Pop Dot the jar, the flowers will have to be doubled up so that everything is raised off the paper. Okay, let's put the flowers together. You can see that I always try to take them off of my sticky sheet, kind of in order. I lay them out so that I kind of know where everything goes. You can always go back and look at the image. So you can see this leaf goes here, and we're gonna put the leaves down first because they're under the flowers. This one's here. And you always have a shape to build underneath it, so you can see where everything actually goes. And for here, I'm going to use this easy permanent tape. I just love creating flowers. I do a lot of painting of flowers. I know that you purchased this cut file, but I also sell original artwork in my Etsy store at Christine Baldino art.etsy.com. And in that store, I've taken a lot of my original art and I've put it onto accessories that I also sell. And those accessories include journals. I make sticker sheets from the same art. So the pink is going down next. I'm just going to pull these off. And I'm going to just make sure I understand where it all goes. Use this quick, easy tape. And the reason I'm not pop dotting the flowers is because I'm going to pop dot the whole thing in one shot so that it all looks raised and dimensional over the vase, which is really the cute mason jar. Add a little glue right there. Fun, right? All right, we're going down for the yellow now. And this is a center. This yellow, make sure we know where it goes. Right there. And this yellow is actually a center, I believe. This yellow goes. So this is really representing. That the base of the flower is pink. And there's these little pieces. And then this is the center of this flower with, you can always find the edging of the shape. Kind of like building a little puzzle. So I'm gonna put this one down first. And remember, it's really forming the piece behind it. Just checking that one more time. Glue side up. Sweet. Now I do have a little accent of color. So if you find that these are too small, you could always use, these are pinchable tweezers. So I'm gonna put this on the edge. I really have 3 little dots. You can put them perfectly as the illustration, or you can be a little more creative. They're really supposed to be accents for the little buds. And one more. You could leave them off if you chose to, but I think they make it fun. And yes, I do have this very tiny piece to go onto that little bud, and I'm actually going to use it. So let's see how the lettering goes on. And then my flowers. I'm just gonna eyeball how the lettering goes on, but the first thing I'm gonna do is I'm going to use my Zig glue pen. And I am going to put it onto my lettering. And if you've ever used this, you know that the glue goes on blue, so you can kind of see where you've put it. Oh, that's better. I guess a little squeeze could help. I hadn't squeezed it before this. Now I understand. And you can obviously see that's mostly blue. The beauty is when it's no longer blue, oops, on my table, it's tacky. It'll be tacky. See, I missed a few spots because I don't want my letters to be weirdly hanging off. Okay. So you can start in one spot. I'm going to start with the H over here. And because it's cut to fit, it should all just drop in beautifully. Remember, you don't have to struggle with getting all of it in the same position. You have to start with one position. So I'm going to add Zot dots to make this three-dimensional so that everything will be raised. And again, I'm just going to eyeball where the jar goes. The lettering should be straight up. If you need to use a ruler to make sure that, you know, you're half on the bottom, you could line it up with your, you know, the bottom of the jar, the center of the circle, and then drop in how your lettering goes in. I'm going to use these fun Zot dots. And the reason I'm using the clear dots is because once I hang it on the wall, I don't know that I want to see any white dots behind me, but you can certainly use those. I'm actually just going to cut that off so I don't get the paper on there. Looks like I'm at the end of this pad. I really want to use those, but I think I can't take these off without taking all that paper with it. Let's see. Yeah, that's not going to be sticky at all. Okay. The good news is I have another pack here. And I know that these can be a little cost ineffective, but if you're making something special just for yourself, it's worth the extra cost, just so that you don't see the white behind it. The shadow just gives it a nice little dimension. Put my jar on. You could buy the white pop dots in the dollar store. You could buy them in a craft store. I get these in a craft store. The beauty of these as well is that I can just use half a dot if I wanted to. Now you see that this is raised, so the important thing is that this has a single dot, but all of the other ones have a double, so that the flowers and the leaves are raised. Let's put this aside for a moment and we'll do that. Right, so single here, because that attaches to the mason jar. And now I'm going to use double, but I'm going to cut these in half with my non-stick scissors. Or a quarter, since I want to fit it on that leaf right there. And then the ones on the top will actually get a double. Once I put the base pieces on, I could always decide if I need to add 1 or 2 more dots someplace else. And make this one a half. And a half. And then I'm just going to use 1 more here, and I need 1 more edge right there. Just remember they have to be doubled. Baby, so it sits correct. They are very sticky, that's for sure. Okay. Let's make sure they go in beautifully. You can put them as high or as low as you choose. Going to come right in front of my lettering a little bit. And oh, look at that. See, I need that. A little dot there, because I don't like when the flowers sag. And of course, when you hang it, you don't want them drooping funny. So I'm going to put 2 together to start. Put it right under that. So, nice. You could hang it like this. Oh, look at that. I forgot my O centers. So pretty. You could hang it like this, or you could get a wood board and put some pretty ribbon through and hang it on the board. Great for a door front, a reminder that you just have some beautiful home.